From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, January the 30th, 2024. Intense fighting continues between Israeli troops and Hamas terrorists in Gaza, including the IDF said today in response to the barrage of rockets fired at central Israel yesterday from Gaza. Israeli Air Force fighter jets struck the launchers used to fire the rockets, which were loaded with mortar shells. The IDF said in Khan Yunis, multiple terrorists were eliminated by an Israeli Air Force strike and during combat on the ground. The forces, it said, also located large quantities of weapons. And in central Gaza, a UAV directed by IDF troops eliminated a terrorist cell armed with RPGs that was identified approaching troops. Yesterday, the IDF also shared a tunnel it discovered located under a cemetery, used, it said, by Hamas to direct attacks against the IDF both above and below ground. The IDF said inside the tunnel, our troops eliminated terrorists and located explosives, blast-proof doors, an office where a Hamas battalion commander managed the October 7th massacre, and a command and control center, among other terrorist infrastructure. And Israeli commandos conducted a joint undercover operation this morning to thwart a terror plot in the West Bank. The IDF said the Shin Bet, the IDF, and the Amman Police Counterterrorism Unit entered a hospital in Jenin and eliminated 3 members of an armed Hamas cell who were hiding there and who, according to the IDF, had plans to carry out an attack inspired by the events of October the 7th in the near future. The IDF said for a long time now, a large number of wanted persons have been hiding in the hospitals and using them as a basis for planning terrorist activities and carrying out attacks, saying the security forces will continue to act against any threat that endangers the security of the citizens of the State of Israel. Reports regarding talks for a potential hostage release deal continue, with details still unclear and still unconfirmed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today told students at a pre-military academy in the West Bank, "I hear talk about all kinds of deals. I would like to make it clear. We will not conclude this war without achieving all of its goals. This means eliminating Hamas, returning all of our hostages, and ensuring that Gaza never again constitutes a threat to Israel," saying the IDF was not withdrawing from Gaza and that Israel will not release thousands of terrorists. The United Nations envoy for sexual violence in conflict, Pramila Patten, is in Israel to investigate Hamas's sexual violence on October the 7th, meeting today with Israel's President Isaac Herzog and First Lady Michal Herzog. Patten said she was in Israel to show her solidarity, saying sexual violence is one of the most heinous crimes with devastating consequences that reverberate across generations, asking survivors and witnesses of the horrors on October the 7th, please come forward. Please break the silence, because your silence will be the license for those criminals, and they will continue to commit these heinous crimes. There is no place, she said, on the battlefields of the 21st century for such crime. Patten added, "I'm here for a week. I'm ready to meet you in a safe environment that will allow me to listen to your stories. The world needs to know what really happened on the 7th of October. The United States Attorney's Office, District of Massachusetts, said federal agents arrested a man for threatening a local synagogue in Massachusetts and allegedly threatening to kill members of the Jewish community and bomb places of worship. The suspect allegedly left a voicemail at Congregation Agudas Achim in Attleboro, and then another voicemail at another synagogue and a Jewish organization, with threats of genocide against the Jewish community, accusing it of supporting genocide of the Palestinians in Gaza. Special agent in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation Boston Division, Jody Cohen, said no one should have to fear becoming the victim of physical violence at the hands of an angry stranger. While the FBI does not and will not police ideology, we take all threats to life seriously, and so should anyone thinking about making one. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, January the 30th at 7 o'clock in honor and memory of Rabbi Mark S. Golub. Rabbi Eric Yoffie leads a conversation with fellow L'Chayim Roundtable veterans Stephen Bayme and Betty Ehrenberg on a number of issues on the current state of affairs for Israel and American Jewry, and weigh in on what Mark might have said on these matters. At 7:50, it's the Yeshiva University Maccabees versus Manhattanville College. At 9:35, it's Jack Laub on L'Chayim. At 10:30, Laura Bialis talks about her film Vishniac, about famed photographer Roman Vishniac. And coming up next, the ILTV's Insider. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, January the 30th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.